Welcome to this introduction to yoga anatomy. Anatomy is most commonly known as the study of the human body. Yet, as we evolve and become aware that we are more than just our physical bodies, this field is rapidly expanding into the studies of the structures that make up the human being. This includes not only our physical bodies and minds, but our souls as well. The human being is not just a physical entity, comprised only of organs, bones, and a whole mesh of tissues and flesh. The human being is not only a mental entity, comprised of thoughts, logic, intellect, and imagination. But the human being is also not just a spiritual entity, which exists beyond time and space, in the formations of energy, emotions, and vibrations. The human being is all of these things, and thus exists within all of these fields simultaneously. The best way to better explain the different aspects of the human being is according to the Koshas. So let us take a journey into our onion-like layers to better grasp their union. Since I already started with the onion metaphor, made famous by Shrek, you get it, we both have layers. I've decided to roll with it. Though the koshas can be seen as layers, it is important to imagine these sheets rather like interwoven grids instead of separated sheets that cover and contain one another. Instead of attaching a very solid idea to this concept, we must rather challenge our imagination to create a mental construct that goes beyond even the third dimension. Imagine if this onion were to be placed on a third-dimensional grid with an X, Y, and Z axis, as if we were trying to draw 3D shapes, like onions. The grid itself would be holding all of the layers within the same space. If you had to attempt observing only the deepest layer, it would not only be contained within all of the other layers, but it would be containing these layers as well. As if the core itself becomes the grid. This is because the density of each layer of your being becomes less concentrated and thus less physical the closer you move to the core. If this isn't very clear, perhaps it will make more sense once we have discussed the essence of each kosha. The 5 koshas are usually listed from the outermost layer to the innermost layer, beginning with Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and ending with Anandamaya. Okay? These are just the Sanskrit terms, and they basically translate to the physical body, the energy or astral body, the mental body, the wisdom body, and the core or bliss body. Annamaya kosha means veil made of food or sustenance. It is the physical body that is our vehicle for experience and existence within the third dimension. The Pranamaya kosha means veil consisting of energy or vital life force, and it is the subtle astral body, which consists of emotions, energy, meridians, chakras, and even our auras. This may better portray how the sheets or koshas are not necessarily layered like onions, but rather interwoven with each other. For example, The meridians are pathways or veins of energy that can be traced or mapped throughout the body, whereas the aura is more like a shield or a ball of energy that surrounds the physical body. Yet, they both form part of the astral or energy body. Manumaya Kosha means the veil of patterns of thought or mind. It governs and contains the mind, thoughts, neurological patterns, subconscious beliefs, and conscious experience of the senses. Moksha is the goal of this body, which is ultimate liberation from these mental habits. The Vijnana Maya Kosha means the veil of higher intelligence and represents the wisdom and discerning observer aspects of the human being. This kosha ignites intuition, peripheral awareness, and the sixth senses. Yep, there's more than one, and it includes abilities like premonitions, clairvoyance, telepathy, empathy, visions, and dream works. Pun unintended. Lastly, or rather, firstly, depending on how you want to look at it, we have the Anandamaya Kosha, which means the veil of bliss. This refers to the core of not only the human being, but all beings. It is what has been called the heart or the soul, and it is the finest veil of the self. It is the closest layer to the source of all the layers found within all of the things that this universe is made up of. Though the core is not isolated to the deepest part of the self, but rather it is like sunlight shining through from within to touch and permeate and animate every other veil of existence. Once we begin to grasp that our experiences are made up of more than just our physical bodies, thoughts, and senses, we can pave a pathway by which to integrate our entire selves into our lives. Most people are barely interacting with the fullness of the whole universe we live in. Most people are unaware of or asleep to their true nature. However, when an individual starts their journey of self-discovery, yoga is often an important intuitive action. This is because yoga is literally the unification of all aspects of the self. Whether a person came to yoga for physical health, vitality, weight loss, or even mental clarity, the practice of yoga is one of holistic integration of all the koshas, or anatomical layers of an individual. The intertwined nature of the different aspects of the structure of the soul is inevitably witnessed through the pure practice of yoga. When there is true liberation from the patterns of thought or mental habituations, the true depth of one's authentic self is the automatic experience. In conclusion, the anatomy of the human goes far beyond the physical body rooted in the third dimension. The anatomy of the human is entirely amalgamated into the structure of the universe itself, coordinated in harmony. May you see the fullness of who you are, whether through yoga or any other holistic practice. And so it is. Namaste.